Get that nice. I mean, the lockdown's great. It's also good for clearing out some of those illusions with the axes. And it does give you some. You want strong characters in front that are going to be able to absorb a lot of that damage and keep Drow on the back lines.
Okay, they banned out the Winter Wyvern. It's one of those heroes that's been picked so many times today, and also considered as your classic counter to the Drow Ranger strategies. Usually Drow Ranger, she likes to be surrounded by her allies so that they can benefit from that aura, so that you can push with them. But that one Winter Wyvern ulti on the Drow Ranger and she's just gone, so...
Yeah. Cold Embrace also quite good.
Do you think we might see an Enchantress by any chance paired up with the Drow Ranger? Because it has been popping up more and more recently, right?
But I'm not a big fan of Enchantress versus PL.
I don't like it versus PL.
I'm not a big fan of that. I love Ench versus any hero if there's a clear usage of Enchant, like versus your Frost Shields, Embers, whatever. Then even if it's PL on the lane, whatever, you're going to benefit from an Enchantress pick. But right now...
Ooh, that's a new hero. We have not seen this gentleman. It's a lot of burst damage.
That is very interesting, yeah. I mean, it's a hero that also I mentioned a bunch of times. You can get a lot of money from killing illusions, but feel a bit forced. Unless
it looks like a position 4 Lion as well, right?
Yeah. Okay.
He's going to get that, he's hoping he gets that Ags and he can get the AoE, I guess.
It gives you a lot of lockdown. It's decent versus illusion, illusions, like Fog just said. It also gives you that Hex plus Impale versus the PL. So there's definitely upsides to the line, but there's reasons why we don't see that line. And that's, I don't know, you pass by him and he falls dead. You don't even touch him. He's just so squishy, so immobile. And Tusk is the opposite.
Yeah.
Right? He's the brawler.
This is very meta coming out from the side of Aster this time around.
Yeah, and this is one of their very popular heroes too. Playing this Tusk, it's one of Fade and Nigma from Boca, right? They both use.
Yeah, they flip flop on who plays 4 and 5 on this team, so it's possible. It could be Fade, it could be Boca.
The Lion's just a risk. Immediately when I see Lion in any games, there's a reason this hero isn't picked up super often, and you only really, well, not only, but you see it a lot of times only versus like your Pucks, your Embers, these heroes that you want an instant disable. Nothing really screams, I want an instant disable just yet, so I'm still a bit of a question mark on Lion.
Like, we see a Lion pick, but Rubik completely forgotten and not picked. Like, that hero was a constant first phaser, and now we see a Lion in before the Rubik, and Rubik is also pretty good. He's good versus the PL, he's good versus the Doom. Also, your instant disable, not as much disable as Lion offers, obviously.
What is it? It's IG though, right? Maybe Emo wants to play some mid line or something.
We've seen
some weird stuff today. Okay, don't knock it till we see it.
I was actually being kind of serious. Like, these guys,
they both have really good Rubik players too. I'm surprised that we didn't see that pickup. Like
Axe as well.
Axe. Yeah, they're really switching it up, but. Still makes sense because they do like the Axe. I know JT's a big fan of playing Axe, even in the last few patches. But there's Snowball, which is a pretty good tool to actually protect. One of the few ways to actually save versus Axe, versus that call if you are able to get into.
Picked before you even see a position 5, so they can pick something that completely messes up with Axe. Some Bane Shadow Demons come to my mind that can just destroy his laning stage if he even decides to go for those pulls.
I mean, oh wait, sorry, I didn't even see the other one. I was like, wait, there's still Lich. What the hell? No, there isn't.
It's a lot of like single target lockdown though on the side of Aster if they pick up a Bane.
No, it's just an idea versus. I don't think they will go for that.
Definitely feels like they could use a little bit more team fight on the side of Aster.
Yeah, definitely agree. They have the Doom who can run in, but yeah, besides that, it's pretty much all single target at the moment.
Was there any heroes in particular that you're looking for then in that scenario?
I'm just wondering if they should go with your position 5 right here. And things like Shadow Demon and Bane in the past were good versus Axe and his creep skips. Like you can't deal with him easily that way. And then if he has a bad lane, he just never shows up. He's just too weak as a comeback offlaner. they go with a bat. This is also a decent option. It should be your position 5 bat. You basically stack your sticky napalm on Axe and just mess with him in the laning stage.
Okay. Unorthodox. Again, but a lot of things are pretty much like they're taken out, but now it's even more single target, right?
Yeah.
It's like all single target on Aster, actually. Not that IG has like a crazy amount of AoE either at the moment. They're also still kind of limited, but
they have here and there. You have AoE silence. You have
they have
the call as well.
A couple.
Impaled. There's something that they've got, but
I'm liking Leshrac for quite a lot for IG if it's left in the pool. Lesh is great versus both. I mean, it's amazing versus PL, but and also versus Doom. Sure, you get Doom, but your spells persist.
Damage,
yeah, your ult is going to continue going. So I think Leshrac actually would be pretty solid for IG if they're able to get that one.
Interesting that IG is actually banning Puck, considering they have that line picked up already. So much control for them, and that they decide to go and delete the Puck out of the game. When even if they picked it, that Puck would have a pretty bad game, right?
That is very bizarre. Absolutely. That is pretty much, you always saw line as the counter pick. Yeah. I feel like we've seen that a lot in this series. We saw the Mag versus the...
There's a lot of counter
Mag versus
Tide pick up, yeah. A lot of these things that don't really make sense for us, but maybe in the region, it's a different way of thinking.
Well, it's always nice to see something new. But again, it goes back to the idea of, is this the time and the place to be, pulling out some of these more interesting stuff?
Disruptor mid. It wasn't the time, it wasn't the place, and then they won.
They made it work.
Yeah.
This is like one of those drafts, though, where like I instantly just jump into chat to see what they're saying. It's some very strong opinions right now.
What are they up
to? I'm not going to say. But yeah, no, I think that this is definitely one where I'm excited to see where it does end, and I'm excited to see where you guys actually do sit prediction-wise before we do get into this game.
I mean, right now it's a godly PL game.
Yeah.
Until some solution does come out for IG, but at the same time, too, IG has to pick a hero to solve that. But there is a Lesh in the pool, so it's possible. And I think this is a kind of setup in preparation if that Lesh is going to be coming. That Pugna.
And it's also really good versus Axe, right?
Yeah.
The Crepify saves you from that call.
Is that the only thing they need to answer, though, with this pick, though? Are they only thinking about the PL, or are there multiple boxes that they really need to be checking direly?
PL's the biggest one.
You have to be thinking about the PL. You also have to be thinking about your pushing power early on. Aster did that perfectly well with their last pick, Pugna. They had pretty much no pushing power, no objective taking on their side. And now with the Pugna, at least they can take down buildings. Their rush potential is super weak, but at least they can take down buildings. While for Invictus, Drow is just not enough.
Decrep is always so nice versus Drow Ranger. This Pugna pick is really good to bring things together, and they're going to go for an Ember here.
I mean, what do you have? You have Zeus, you have Ember, and what else do you usually pick versus PL on mid?
The Lesh, but because Pugna was picked, I think that got removed. I think because of that, that's why the Ember did scale up. And they do have a Bloodlust also to kind of enable him.
They have the Bloodlust, and also why I like this Ember Spirit pickup is because they needed something active early on. Without December, without something active, they would just never have their mid game.
All right, well, I was looking at chat during that one. I want to look at you guys one more time. We need to see who you think will be the MVP in this one. You can vote using the hashtag and then throw in the play name next to that, and that's all you got to do to actually cast that vote. We'll be taking a look at who you do actually vote for, and we'll definitely show it up on the screen once we tally the results. But the main result that we need to tally is in this series, and that's right after this.
Prepare for battle.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 now of IG versus Asta. And we're seeing some, I feel like just some very different picks, really, right? We've got IG, they're coming in with its Axe lineup. We've got some Lion supports and all that beautiful Ogre. We do have the Ogre Arcana in play. So IG, they're coming in with a bit of flair this game. Asta, they've got some good answers, though, right?
Yeah, no, I kind of like Asta's picks more, at least to my mind. They make a little bit more sense. I think some of the heroes, like the Lion, was an interesting response. I was talking with someone earlier that I think the hero is kind of specific. Not that many players play him. Also, they picked Axe into Tusk, which I think it was, it's a bit of a strange decision to me. But I like that their last pick is someone that can go in the fight and create a bit of chaos. Because later on, when this Axe wants to jump in, you need someone to try and intercept this Tusk from just, going in or blinking in and using the snowball to save.
We'll see what sort of lane matchups we get at the start of things. But, I mean, talk to me more about the Axe, because Axe as a hero just... Obviously, with some of the nerfs, some of the key items like the Blade Mail, right? It never really feels good getting Blade Mail on Axe. You are going to be more likely to go for just the Vanguard Blink sort of build up on the hero. Why do we just not see much Axe anymore?
I think Axe is just a little weird to play right now. I haven't played him much. Also, I think creep skipping is a little bit harder. There are some of these heroes, such as Batrider, like if the Axe would want to creep skip top, I think the Bat should just go there. It's really hard to do it against the hero. He just starts sticking you up. Also, you can't buy Stout Shields anymore. You can't stack them either. And like we talked about, this Blade Mail change was pretty big for a hero like Axe. And I think another thing that people don't talk about, there's these lifesteal items from neutrals, there's more lifesteal from Vlads. So if you do jump these carries, suddenly they're lifestealing like 40% and you're not killing them.
That's very true. I mean, I would, as I said, I'd be interested to see what JT can get done on the heroes. It's not something that's has been very, very successful. I'll see what sort of magic JT can get done. Obviously be nice if he's able to get the carriage down line on the PL in his army. He's going to get a lot of spins off, be able to cut through those. Now that mid lane, IG Emo against Chuan, the Pugner versus Ember Spirit.
Yeah, like as you could see, the Tusk was looking to walk to middle, but IG, they have a good ward up on the high ground, probably the most common ward right now if you are anticipating some kind of movement into your mid lane early on. And usually when this situation does happen, you will have your 4 mirror the enemy's 4, or your 5 in this case with Ogre. He's just going to run around the Tusk, he's going to trail him just to make sure that his midder is going to be okay here in the early game.
Bottom lane. Fly. I'm going to use the ghost there to knock him back. Will turn.
Oopsie.
Between the two of them, starts to have a bit of a go on to Fade. Fade will go for the TP out. Well, he's still level 1, so no chance for a stun to stop that.
I think this top lane here for Esther is actually going to go pretty well. Axe in this game, at least, he was mainly picked for the PL. It used to be like an old school PL counter. If you do call him, of course, his Illus will constantly die. He takes a lot of damage. He does deal a lot of damage into Blade Mail, which most likely he will buy anyway in this game. But this Batrider is good against both these heroes. Neither of them have a really defensive tool to take off the sticky napalm or to get away. And they're both really slow at the same time too. So I'm going to expect this PL to farm pretty well, simply because this support matchup is so good for Batrider.
Do you think sort of down the line this game, Asta's going to have enough control for Emo's Ember Spirit? Like, do you consider sort of Doom and Lasso enough, or are you sort of seeing this as a game where, like, if Emo gets a Lincolns, he's going to be able to play around those 2 big long cooldown abilities pretty nicely? I
would say early mid-game they can definitely deal with his hero, unless he's really popping off. But I would say until like the 30-35 minute mark, they shouldn't have too many problems with his hero at least.
Radiant structures are fortified.
So far in the mid lane, being pretty even. We are seeing a bit of an attempt on to try to Emo getting in with the Flame Guard, taking him down, chasing him underneath the tower with that final sleight of fist. Very nicely done there. Emo knowing exactly when he could get in with the aggression. Not enough burst damage on that Pugner to remove the Flame Guard, as Emo's just able to run him down and cut him out and in the tree line.
Yeah, I lied. So 3 minute was the timing where they cannot deal with him anymore. No, but well, this will certainly help him out, and this is not what you want to have happen, as like you're saying. So in the early mid game, they can deal with him, but if you ramp this guy's game up and you help him snowball, you know that window will decrease very fast.
Across all lanes again, sort of similar start to what we had in game 1. All cores been able to have a good start in farm. Nobody's really getting that severely harassed back away from their lane. See the mid lane Tron was trying to play for the RNG, hope for that top rune spawn. It's not going to be the case. It's down bottom, and it is a pretty nasty one. Will be the double damage bottled up for Emo. And that does mean that Tron's going to have to be careful in this mid lane. We saw him already be dove upon without a DD. With the DD, there's definitely kill potential for this Ember.
Yeah, this is very scary. Ember's one of the few heroes where if he has a level advantage, or let alone if he even kills you in a one-on-one, if he gets 6 before you, there's a very high chance of a kill. I would also not be surprised if Kaka rotates into the mid lane. Not right now, but in the nighttime, so 5 minutes and on, maybe for the siege wagon, you move mid. Ember's going to have a great timing with this DD and level 6. And then you could also try to pressure this mid tower with the siege. But we'll see how they go about it.
And Kaka, a bit of an annoyance there. Just managed to snipe out SCCC's courier down bottom. Try and turn towards XXS, but he's got that armor, so it's going to feel very strong and safe down in that bottom lane. And even against the two of these heroes, they won't be able to shoot him down with that boosted armor.
Yeah, good old ice armor. Shout out to my boy Ice Frog. Thank you.
Is that, you pretty much just consider as soon as you found that's Doom against the lane like this, it's like I've won the lane.
The lane's over. It's like, I think it's 8 armor, and then when people hit you, they get slowed and lose attack speed. Like, why doesn't this spell, like, let's say it should scale when you're Doom. Level 1 Devour, your spell gives you a quarter of the effect, or whatever, something like that. Because this...
Well, that sounds like a lot of effort. Abilities individually. But I like your thinking.
It is a free game, so, but honest, this is not okay. But let's like, just look at this. They're hitting him with 2 heroes, but does he give a damn? Nope.
No, he's going to be very, very happy down there after munching on that Frost Ogre.
Yeah.
JT still having a pretty good solid start up top. He's finding the farm. As you say, this is actually time to play the lane. He's not really skipping much. He's just trying to do his best to trade with Baboka. Farm when he can, but he isn't really slowing down SCCC's farm. You mentioned it. PL's having a free time in this lane, so it's going to be a good start for him. And on track to get some very nice item timings.
It's kind of like the last game again, like all 6 cores, you know, really they're all getting some good farm. Here you see Fade, he's kind of sitting behind Chuan mid. I think the siege just died on the wave before, so he's kind of just securing the mid lane, making sure nothing crazy happens, since Ember did have that small level advantage and the DD. I think it's a small heads up play here from Fade to at least be around the mid lane, so he doesn't have to TP in, and perhaps he's too late when he does that.
We're going to try for the trap here on JT. Shards are out. Won't quite catch him. The flame break off the mark as well. Only knocks JT back further towards his own safety. So a bit of a mess up there. Asta not quite able to set up the play that they hoped for between Boker and Fade. On bottom, they're still trying to hit him.
Don't you dare.
It's not doing anything. XXS does not care.
Yeah, it's really not doing much. And one thing that this Doom armor or the Ice armor does to this lane, it kind of enabled the Tusk to leave this lane. But I think if he doesn't have this skill, Tusk leaving would ruin the Doom's lane. But right now, they're kind of just defending the towers. Doom is dealing with a siege creep mid. Top lane is pushing in a bit. It's kind of just a farm fest for a bit. I think unless they engage hard on a side lane or maybe bring the Ember from mid to top, which I think should be IG's next play, because Ember is the strongest here on the map right now. So either you rotate to him or you rotate him preferably in this off lane to his off lane, because these supports on Esther, they're pretty low leveled right now. They have a hard time dealing with an Ember coming up here.
Oh, Kaka, he stepped in very aggressively to go for that stun. They're going to collapse onto him immediately. JT is going to use a battle hunger, but that's it. He's not going to head in and try to help him. He's going to let Kaka fall.
Yeah.
As SCCC punishes the Lion for taking a poke at him.
Really like IG's rune control this game. I think he got at least 3 of the 4 runes. Once again, the Ogre was just on the bot rune securing that. Of course, both teams have a mid ward. At least I think Esther's mid ward is still alive on the left side of mid. Yes, it is. So they know that the rune was taken. But for now, the game is somewhat slow actually. But like I was saying, I think the best move that IG have is either they empower their Ember mid, which seems to be the case right now.
Ollie He's going to lead in and start to try and find a bit of action. Fade and Twan are fine there. They'll stay far away from the tower, making sure that Nemo can't get a reach on them. As IG, as you said, they bring the supports mid, but it's not going to warrant anything. As Aster are aware of the move and are not going to get caught out by that.
Yeah, at least not for now. I do think that the Chinese have a similar playstyle within the region. Because when I see Vici play, they oftentimes do what they're doing now, just that they do it a bit earlier. They bring Ori into their own offlane, they let one support take middle, so kind of like this. Ogre's taking mid, Ember's moving, you use a strong hero, a support gets to take mid. Basically, everyone is happy because you're rotating, but you're doing it nicely. At the same time, Aster's doing pretty much the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. They're mirroring each other's movements. We'll see who's going to be more successful as Emo is going to throw the Remnant in behind the trees, jumps forward, he's hunting. He's going to be able to get on top of the PL. They've got the stun into the core. Is it enough control though? It doesn't look like it as SCCC is trying to walk away. They are burning him down there. In fact, with the Flame Guard and the dunk, they do get the kill. Mana and attack for Emo to have one jump away, salving up, bottling up to get that mana and health back up. Kaka's going to get rolled upon, but Fly's here as well. They've even brought in the carry. The Drow's ready to turn onto Fade. A defensive Decrepify used by Tron, but the change from into the two of them into the multi-shot. They'll shoot down the Tusk. Tron's in trouble as well with the Decrepify already used. He's got no way to protect himself as IG making that move initially with just the mid, but Fly also reading the situation, saying, hey, I can come over top and help, and he certainly did, cleaning up the double kill.
No, that was very nice. It's like we talked about, they make this move up top. At the same time, it's a bit fishy, the other team is missing, and also when your team makes this move, you know that they want to go top. They don't want to end up TPing bottom to help the Drow Ranger. So smart by him, he backs off, he plays in fog, he kind of, tries to look at the map, read it properly, which he did. He TP'd out of bottom before anything could happen to him. And then Aster, they decided to TP top, which, in retro might not have been the best decision, because they could have stayed down here and maybe help Doom pressure the tower, but overall, just great movement by IG here.
Dire's tower has fallen.
Already up to a couple of thousand net worth lead off the back of that swift move up top as Fly holds that top spot as is Drow. Getting some good early momentum, which will allow them to continue the pressure and start to take away the areas of the map that this PL is going to be able to safely farm. And making that a little bit harder for him to really get himself into the game, even after having a very good lane to start things off with. And there we have Emo. He actually killing off SCCC. They make the move in mid. Kaka is just able to step forward, and by the looks of it, he's getting caught out in places he shouldn't there, that PL. Top as well. Bit of aggression from Ollie. Goes instantly for the TP. Out snowballs on its way. It's not going to make it in time. He gets out of there.
Very nice. Like, honestly, IG are outmaneuvering and outplaying Aster a bit right now. They get this kill on mid, and again, they have some heroes top. Aster rotate in, but IG, they just get to back nicely. Now he sets up play with the TP out here. Ember knows that he has some freedom, so he's going to start playing around a bit. There's no Doom available, so when there's no Doom and Bat is underleveled because he's not 6, there's only one stun left, which is Snowball. And if you're a player of this caliber, I mean, you can play so freely. You're not getting Snowball killed in this game, so.
You'd hope not.
Yeah,
we did see some crazy stuff, but I mean, you're right. For the most part, that Snowball shouldn't be catching you.
Yeah, so right now I would just like the Axe to continue farming for IG, same with the Drow Ranger, and then I think both the supports, they could kind of link up with Ember, because he can play pretty freely, so you should empower him to do so, because if you guys run into a hero together, instead of Ember having to get out or just poke him, you may even get a kill. Because right now all that Aster can do, they could try to smoke with Doom or run at a tower with Pugna, but with the small deficit, I think they need to do it really nicely, because a 5-on-5, I don't think they can take that right now. That is still not 6, and PL just wants to hit creeps. Whereas I think both Drow and Ember, they can come to the fight and they don't feel too bad about it. They have good levels and they have decent farm.
Right, if that might move off from the top lane was anything to go by, it certainly looks like they do have a lot of potency bringing these carries to the game, to the matches, to the fights this early on. And in terms of the build, we've seen this Axe, he's going for the Blink Dagger. Sort of the days of of just being this like Vanguard aura builder as an Axe over? Like, if you are picking an Axe, you are picking him to be this initiator in this patch?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I think right now, at least one good thing about Axe is that there's a lot of these hard carries being played. So playing Blade Mail, even though it got nerfed, is still most often going to be the correct choice. Unless you're running a very specific lineup, then you can, you know, maybe justify a Crimson Guard. But in this game, they just need him to go in, make space for the Ember and the Drow Ranger, and, you know, just be a tank in the front line. There's going to be the Crab and a Snowball, but if he gets the right engage, he will do his job by just going in and starting the fight.
Showing himself stop. They are going to bring in TPs. XXS has got the backup of Faye. JT's already out of there. Shows himself, cleans the wave out, gets over to join the rest of his team, and look for a potential move from their shrine areas. They start to move over as the three of them. The sweep has been drawn out to be made straight across down to the bottom half of the map. Only Baboka down here at the moment.
Yeah, like right now, like I was saying earlier, I think it's not that easy for Esther to make any plays, so you're most likely just going to see them dodge a bit. Whereas IG, they're strong right now. Like we talked about, this Ember has levels, Alex just got his blink, and we've got a pickoff on PL, which is the best kill on the map right now.
Oh yeah, Dream reveal of the blink dagger and a perfect smoke from IG, finding SCCC, slowing down his game once again. Baboka is able to TP out. Emo tried to get him with the slight change, but couldn't quite close that gap in time. The 3K lead for IG.
Yeah, and one thing
to do this, it's going to be hard for Asta to keep up.
Yeah, so one thing that we need to keep in mind right now, actually, is that Doom did get a Blink Dagger, so now they do have ways of engaging. But since they're behind, and, you know, this Ember Axe, they're kind of peeking right now, they need to still make sure that it's not like a full-on 5-on-5. They need Doom to have a good initiation. He needs to find a Centaur creep, go in, stun, start with Doom, and then see that you have the Bat and the Tusk close enough so they can frontline, so that your partner can use his spells properly.
They're going to jump in. There's the Doom. They get it down off the Ember Spear. Firefly's trying to help cover him as he turns and shoots. This Ember trapped by the shards. He's trying to get away. He's got the deny. Fly takes that kill away from them. As Ollie also falls, they get the start off onto Fly, cancelling the TP as they will get the four of them a triple kill for SCCC. Exactly what Asta needed, getting in like that. Sure that the Ember kill was denied from them, but getting the other three, it's beautiful for SCCC to find that influx of cash and experience, as that time round IG, they just got caught a little too far up. The lasso into a fight, and it was all over for them.
Yeah, that was about the easiest PL fight that he's going to get in this game, because, so Ember and Axe are like the best heroes against him in this game. Axe obviously initiated on someone else who got lassoed, I don't quite recall, and then, well, Ember got doomed. So here we see it again. Ember gets doomed, Axe already, you know, he expended his spells. PL gets to solo the Lion here on the outside. He has no mana left because of the Diffusal, and now they actually just get to run at them. If IG have to run, well, Drow Ranger ain't the best at running, and they're just gonna catch him, and he ends up dying.
Yeah, that kind of couldn't gone any worse for IG, really. As SCCC, the one hero they've tried to focus their attention on the most, just gets a free team fight victory. IG not to be deterred from their aggression. They're straight back into the action with the smoke. The jump, it's off the mark though. JT missing the blink on Chuan as the Pugner can smile and walk away.
Yeah, slightly off the mark there with the jump, which is unfortunate, but you know, of course the game goes on. Right now, if IG take a fight, I hope that after this last fight they're kind of reconsidering perhaps of how they should approach it. Since they have two heroes that are good against PL, and I think their win condition is to not let the PL have a free fight. If Axe goes in first, then Ember has to chill, and it's the other way around. One of them need to be ready to go on this PL when he shows up for the first time in the fight.
Sure, well you don't want to see these two heroes just jumping onto the same hero at the same time.
Correct, I really do not want them to do that, because the other heroes, they struggle super hard against the PL. If they waste Ember and Axe's initiation together to not go on PL, the supports are just going to die, and the same with Drow Rangers. So they need to respect the enemy heroes and understand how to take the fight.
IG will get away with the free Roshan. They've got the power to take it down with Fly. That will be Aegis into the hands of Emo. So now, obviously, that problem does arise for Asta. who they want to prioritize with the Doom, with the Lasso, because if they do want to try and go for Ember in the next few minutes, they're going to have the means to take him down twice.
Yeah, so this Aegis is definitely going to help. I also think it's going to help them to play in the right way, even if they didn't plan it or talk about it during the last fight. Because now Ember obviously wants to go in first. He has this Aegis. It's going to make him naturally play the way he should, so it's going to make the fights a lot easier. So now I just hope, unless Axe gets an insanely beautiful jump and PL is showing elsewhere on the map, like I said before, he shouldn't do it unless it's really close to being perfect.
A bit of a further damage spike for Emos. That Maelstrom will now be completed. 2K lead still for IG, but another bad fight like they took over in that dire jungle area will knock this game back to even. Nice CCC, as you see, is already starting to take the top spot mid lane. JT's looking for the lead and gets the call onto Maboka. Jaquepify's going to be used, and now they turn the lasso, and with the suck, that's a quick kill on the Ember. The Aegis is gone. They're going to look to line up to go for it under a second time, but Emos lines himself up with a bit of safety, has the Remnant to get away, but that is the Aegis gone, just like that.
Yeah, that was quite frankly not the best usage of the Aegis. Good silence at the end by Drow Ranger, because Tusk actually was going for a heads-up play. There was a wave running over the Aegis respawning. He was about to snowball over the creeps so that the Ember would get stunned on the respawn. But, like I said, good positioning by Drow. And I think another thing to note here is that Lion has Blink. So if you're the Axe, just let Ember and the Lion go first. You know, let them engage in the fight, let them jump the same target, and now you just stay out with your Axe. Don't do what you did the last two fights with IG, because trust me, they will lose fights if they continue playing like this.
Ready to make the move again. Well, see, he's getting some good RNG here. Yeah, 1 in 42 odds of him getting this streak of multicast. So RNG is definitely on the side of IG. Ollie, oh no, he's not going to make a move yet. It's going to be Astra able to take the bounty runes from the bottom half of the map. JT just wanting to get his hood into pipe done so he has some sort of sustain and safety for his team. Here comes the smoke. IG. See if they can catch this time. The last few moves like this have been a disaster. As you say, they cannot really afford to make another bad move.
Yeah, they just need to be really careful. I also think that Drow Ranger should have perhaps been here a little earlier in this lane just to show himself on the map, you know, make it a bit less obvious. Well, they're gonna get a bad rider.
Well, this time it's far enough away from the tower that there's no threat of Asta turning it around.
Exactly. They're gonna also get some vision out, as we see here. Maybe another one. I don't know if Lion is holding anymore, but Pugna's gonna TP out. They're just gonna push in mid. Let's see how Esther respond, but I think unless IG misposition themselves, then they're just gonna give this up.
There we go. Looks like that's just, his streak finally on. He got 1 in 100 streak. That's actually pretty dope. So, shout out to Ollie.
Also, shout out to Glyph, because he just killed the entire wave at the siege because of the multi-shot. I mean, I still think that that's a little, you know, underutilized by teams. If you have a hero like Puck, you can easily take your fight at a tier 2, tier 3. Just, you know, tell your team what you want to do. I'm going to coil them. We use Glyph. They get multi-shot. It makes a huge difference. And I actually haven't seen a, you know, team fight that played out that way.
No, there's definitely some sort of unsung combo plays that have a lot of untapped potential. But IG, I mean, they find the bat, they back off, they're not going to try and push for anything more. I mean, I understand, right? Firefly's still, he's holding on to a lot of gold that he's yet to invest, so no real reason to try and do anything before he spent this all.
Yeah, I mean, he's holding 3.5 gold right now. He's very close to his axe, which is seemingly the choice he wants to go for.
Do you think that is the way to play against a PL? You kind of have to go for like this Axe Maelstrom build still, or do you feel like you don't necessarily have to tunnel vision on thinking about how to kill the PL as a Drow, and you can try and play it a different way?
I think it's heavily, you know, reliant and dependent on your team, as Kaka seems to be dead. They canceled his blink with Pugna, Tusk goes in, snowball, quick kill. But back to your point, in this game, I guess it feels like, you know, they think that the PL is going to be a problem. So if you don't have good enough heroes to deal with the PL, then yes, you do have to itemize for him. In this game, maybe you could debate that maybe he could go with later, as he does have Ember and Axe. But I guess, you know, with the way the last two fights went, they probably don't feel too great about this PL. So I don't really blame him for it. I think it speeds up his farm too. And I mean, we'll see how he progresses after that.
Yeah, it does always feel like it's a fun item to play with. As you say, you're going to speed up everything across the board. He's going to have quite a damage spike up now with the Ags picked up, and the fact he's just at that plus 12 IG talent. So IG, if they can, get some fights going. Top lane, ooh, Emo. Very quick with a slight remnant out. They were hunting for him, all three of them. They had the Doom and the Lasso ready, but Emo, quick on the fingers.
Yeah, it was a good try by the Doom. He couldn't really wait much longer because the line of sight from the creep wave would have shown him. So, and of course, Bad Rider can't initiate. He's not fortunate enough to have a Blink Dagger yet. So the only way they kill Ember right now is basically him screwing up hard in a fight or Doom initiating on him.
IG. We've had a couple of smokes that have ended in disaster. Last one ended in only a back kill. See if they can get anything bigger this time round. As JT leads the way, they head into the jungle. The Radiant Scan will be there. They know there's someone on the high ground. There's the blink. Whoa, XXS quick. Very, very quick to react as he blinks out, dodges the play. And now they'll know that IG's here, so the rest of Asta can simply retreat. But Boga's going to try for the TP, but they've caught him. Emo will get the setup. They'll pick up a finger stack for Kaka.
Yeah, you know, once again, we have to smoke across the map. You show yourself on one side, they think that you're kind of stuck there with your TPs. You smoke across the map. Of course, you know, not the best kill, as XXS was very quick on his fingers there to react. Of course, he was on the high ground, so you saw them quite early. They only end up killing a Bad Rider, so the game doesn't really change much apart from that Pugna. He got to push out his bot lane. He knows that the whole team of IG were around top. Now the next small objective might be those bounty runes, but I don't really see any fight breaking out here.
Obviously, the build again from Fly. You know, he wants himself the Shadow Blade this match. Is the why the Shadow Blade on the Drow? Is he just worried about being jumped or?
Yeah, I think he just doesn't want to get engaged on in the start by like this Doom or Bat. I assume he kind of wants to. Maybe he wants to hit a bit and kite back and be back, but he.
I love his arrows. I mean, if he wants to farm and he's going this Axe build, I feel like the Maelstrom, you got to have the two of them. You don't want to have one or the other.
Yeah. No, I also think that this is actually better.
This is much.
Not only does it help your farming, it will also help your team fighting as long as you get to hit. And I think right now with how you should play, you should rely on your team. You know, you should rely on your team and yourself to play properly. As this Bad Rider seems to.
He's having a rough time with Boca. That's 3 times in a row that he's sort of full foul to the players of IG. They do get the jump in though onto Emo. Perfectly comboed into the tomb. Alright, but Boca won't mind dying for that one.
Debated.
Debated indeed. Dead for 70. That's the kind of catch they want to find, Asta.
Definitely. Like, this Ember is one of the more troublesome heroes for them to deal with right now, as Drow is very far up in the net worth charts. I actually didn't realize he was this far ahead.
Yeah, he's pretty massive. And he's only going to get bigger, but they are going to try and commit on him. They're going in with a snowball. He's got backup, forced away with the Hurricane Pike, and now he can turn. Pushing them back with the Gust. Jumping is there. It looks like Ollie's going to be left behind. The Ogre will fall in the river. As the final blast from Chuan takes him out. It does give the safety for Fly to get back to base.
Yeah, I think wise choice to back out there. Drow, of course, gets to Pike away. Ogre ends up dying. They have no Ember. There's really no need to take this fight and take any risks. Just wait for your Ember to respawn. There's no Doom. Oh boy.
And they're going to try and fight this. And fight with the Gust and the Mori shot. They're doing a lot of damage. SCCC is getting it very, very low. Defensive Decrepify is used. It is going to give him the chance to doppelganger out. And SCCC, he's going to make it away. Chuan with a beautiful save, keeps his PL fighting fit and able to retreat back to safety.
Damn, that was a beautiful jump at first by IG. It was also a great follow-up silence and stun by Lion, because the Tusk tried to snowball his teammate, but he ended up getting silenced. But clutch the crap coming in from the Pugna, and actually it's kind of surprising that no one died there, but that's the outcome.
Yeah, very, very nice avoid of what could have been a terrible situation. Rasta being caught on the low ground. Ollie does get found solo as top lane. They're maybe seeing if they can catch more. They're going to jump in, see if they can get themselves on top of Emo, as Emo has been found once again, back-to-back a couple of times, and now they're collapsing in for more Kaka. A dive upon underneath the tower.
That is very interesting. They actually killed Ember through his Lincolns, so I guess the Batrider Blink reveal killed him, but for that to happen, someone else must have, you know, taken off the Lincolns. Otherwise, of course, the support Bat can't just lasso him. He has no Lincolns break himself, and this should be the second Roshi for Esther. Ember has no buyback, Lion has no buyback. I don't see how IG contests this.
Yeah, they cannot. They're gonna let this one go. Aegis and Cheese will be there for Asta as SCCC getting scarier and scarier on the PL. It's going to be very, very tough for them to deal with. He's got that Reaver pit queued up and the money pretty much there for it.
Yeah, we have got some problems now on the side of IG, I do believe, with the Satanic being picked up on PL very shortly, and now they do have multiple ways of engaging on Esther's side. Doom can go in, Bat can go in. Most likely the Tusk wants to stay out with his Blink Dagger. Now he wants to kind of play the role of patience, so he helps out whoever gets jumped first with his Blink Snowball. And I think the next fights, if Esther played them properly, should not be too hard for them. So IG, perhaps they need to play around a high ground, a shrine, maybe, you know, toy around with some of their own buybacks, and they need to fight very smartly right now in order to hold up against this Aegis PL.
Here they go. IG. They go for the jump. They caught the Pugner. Quick side of fist. Can it blow up? It's up and fade. He's in with a snowball save. Takes him across. Finally, they'll kill off Tron with a multi-shot. He's going to buy back in order to help his team out. Now they're coming in. Straight into the Doom. Fly. He's got to keep himself out of harm's way. A second buyback from Asta as they look to continue to commit this fight. Emo throws out a Remnant, but he's still stuck on the high ground. Inferno plays down. Emo will fall. He didn't get the Remnant down into the river, so he was trapped and gets killed off because of it. Ollie is left behind once more. As Asta, some very smart heads-up players to use these buybacks, get back in. They get a big kill on Emo. He's dead for a minute. They should be able to push in and take some good objectives off the back of that.
Yeah, they're definitely going to push off of this. As Axe in a bit of a weird situation, but should be out. Yeah, he just blinks away. He's going to be okay. It was kind of an odd fight. They threw all their spells on this Pugner, but he got snowballed out. Lion's going to go for a TP out, and he will not make it. Goodbye, Kaka.
Yeah, starting that hemorrhage a few kills here, IG.
Whoops, space.
Makes some work for it. I mean, the more the Pugner's over there blasting the line, the less time the Pugner's blasting the base.
I would like for Pugner to pick up a Blink Dagger, not only for himself to, you know, he has one. Okay, I assume his Blink was on cooldown last fight, because when you are snowballed for that long, you can usually blink out unless perhaps an Ember's on top of you with Flame Guard, but he already has it, so I kind of like his itemization for now. Perhaps he just has to play a little more safe in the upcoming fights.
Now Asta, I'll be the ones to spot. We've seen really over the last 10 minutes, it's mainly been IG that's looking for the fights. Asta's now going to feel the fact that they've got this sort of edge in the team fights, especially if
they have vision of them.
If they can get in without JT being able to make a jump, it'll be hard for IG to deal with it as Provoker scouts him out. And he goes with a lasso, getting him up and over the cliff. And with the snowball, Fade continues to move on. Fly does stand his ground. The defensive Decrepify and heal gets SCCC back up in health. As he's backing off, fingers out, Cheesy's pop by Fade, won't save him, or will it? Another defensive Decrepify. A lot of time involved, but there's the jump. JT goes for the backlines, gets the call off onto Maboka, in with the stuns. XXS pots the BKB, but Emo is picking apart the backlines. He gets the double kill, but now he's out of mana. They see him, they've got the detection. SCCC still alive, gets the kill, heads over the ancients, starts to lifesteal up a little bit. JT's able to get it with the battle hug, and the sucks there, draining the mana, but another doppelganger. SCCC is fine. He doesn't even fall that once the Aegis is protected. As this PL certainly seeming to be quite an issue for IG. They just cannot quite lock him down long enough.
Yeah, I think Esther should be happy they didn't lose more than that. So I think it's kind of the same for both teams. They should not overcommit in these fights. When Esther starts this fight with this lasso, it's great. But then just play around the fact that you pulled this guy in and you only go on him. Because why does Tusk end up being in this position? He should stay out. He has to be patient. He needs to either get a good jump that's going to lead for a play, into like for his team into a play, or to snowball save one of his allies. But like this, they're baiting each other. Suddenly Tusk dies, so now Pugner has no one to be saved. Ember has free reign to just go into the backline. and kill the Pugna.
Yeah, some good attempts from Asta to try and stop the bleeding, but losing the heroes they did. And Fly. Lincoln's up next. That's what he's going to look for. Make sure that it's a little harder for Asta to get away with the jumps when they can close the gap upon him. The Lasso and Doom being the biggest threats that are in the game at the moment for this Drow. As long as Fly can keep his distance and play around those, he is going to be able to dish out a lot of damage in these team fights.
Aegis is gone. So I also think Cheese was expanded by Tusk in the last fight, since he, ended up in that kind of weird position. But when you do have so many blink daggers in your team, just make sure you don't jump the same target with all these blinks, If Bat initiates with Lasso, try to have the PL follow up on that, and then maybe Doom goes on the follow up because he's very tanky. He intercepts the fight, and then Tusk and Pugna, they just play patient. They try to use their spells well because that's really their only job. And same for IG. You have so many blinks, just play smartly. Use only so few heroes as you need to go on the specific targets on the fight, and just try to bait the enemy team in.
It's definitely hard for IG to make those moves, because as we've seen, someone's got to find the Pugna, but whoever's finding him, it's very likely the Pugna is going to have, as you say, that Fade Tusk by his side, some sort of save to make sure it isn't as easy as just finding him on the back of it all. Ollie, poor old Ollie.
Yeah, poor Ollie.
Emo. What's the plan here? Lincoln's has been popped. They are going to TP in. He's got the remnant. He's fine. Ooh, it's just fine enough. There's no further catch. Build for XXS after the Lotus Orb is going to be that Aghanims for himself, and very close to being done. A few hundred gold, and he'll have that one ready to fight with.
Yeah, the Doom Axe is really strong. In this game, I think there's nothing too crazy to break. I'm not sure how it works with Drow. If you're close to him, you break his aura anywhere. Here he gets changed up, even gets Lion stunned, but I don't think too much is going to break out from this one. But overall, your Inferno Blade, it lasts longer, it stuns longer. If you have a Centaur creep as well, you can go in Inferno, Centaur Stomp, and you can nearly use it again. And in games like this, where you get to frontline kind of nicely, which I think he should be able to, he's 3-0-11, he has a BKB, he has good amounts of armor with the Lotus Orb, and now HP with the Axe. He's going to be very annoying to deal with for this Radiant team. He'll just be in their face and end up stun locking some different heroes in the fight.
Time to smoke up again. Aghanims also for Emo, so that extra burst. And
they have a great ward, and I don't think Esther know about it, as they have their own ward on the low ground.
They are keeping themselves still in the shadows, though, Asta.
Esther have a good positioning. They should even play a bit closer to their shrine. I hope they don't get baited into their own ward.
XXS. Instant reactions there with the BKB as soon as he suspects that something's up. And that means that IG cannot commit on him. They'll back off, wait it out. They do know at least that XXS's BKB will be on cooldown if they can find the opportunity to strike again.
I like Esther's positioning right now. They kind of fell back. They're playing in another ward of their own that they just placed on the high ground. Because right now they don't have Doom's BKB. So they need to play well. Oh, here we go.
Chase is tried for the jump in. He's going to have to follow up on Emo. The finger drop down on a Fade. The double stun comes out into play. The Hex is there. They call SCCC. SCCC is dead. The Hex found him. He'll buy back and start a TP over towards the outpost. But the rest of us is in trouble as XXS is surrounded. They'll decrepify Emo to try and slow down his damage output, but he's still burning down XXS. JT is now out of mana. We'll see if that CCC can start to go for the cleanup. Fade, very low, gets the snowball off, focusing Emo. Emo being chased by the PL. Another bit of control offered up by this Pugna as Emo is in trouble, trying to get towards the shrine, but he cannot get back. The Ember is dead.
Alright, I guess that's all that is. So they got a PL buyback out of that. That was a, 3-for-1 exchange and a PL buyback? That's a huge win for IG. Wow. I'm actually surprised what even happened in this fight. I think Drow Ranger just got to blast all the way at the start of the fight for like a good 5 to 7 seconds until he ended up getting doomed.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a whole lot worse for IG, but as you said, only losing the Ember in trade for getting those 3, and now that very scary window being there for Asta, where it's the next 7 minutes that SCCC has got to be so careful. If he gets taken out, they're easy losing tier 2s and maybe even the high ground. With this drought, they're going to be able to push hard and fast. Asta, they're going to try that Aegis. Roche is up. They really need to get this for SCCC with his buyback being on cooldown.
Jesus, neither team has vision of this DD, not yet at least. Let's see who kind of gets it. By luck, Axe sees it now.
Can he time the jump?
Radiant, they just want to delay. They do not want to engage in a fight, they just want to make some space.
They might be forced to though, because Baboka is in. He gets the grab off the Molly shot for the side. There's bringing Baboka down low. Fly starting to be very careful with his positioning as JT starting to fall. XXS gets the jump on him. Fly's in trouble and he needs help now. Double buybacks coming out from IG as they'll head straight over with the TP towards the shrine. SCCC's got to be careful and will retreat with the doppelganger. Does mean they're forced back away from that Roshan area. And there's two buybacks from IG, the bigger one being that of JT. But definitely worth it if it means that Asta are forced away from being able to take a fight here. As IG, they're grouping up. We'll see what the next move is going to be from them.
Yeah, so let's see how this next fight is going to go. Of course, the objective of the game right now is Roshan, especially with so many buybacks being expended. PL would love to have an Aegis, just to have like this backup buff alive. Oh, but also, both Drow and Ogre have buyback too.
Long remnant across. Does Emo try for the slight change on the high ground? Doesn't catch anyone.
Yeah, so right now the people that should play in front even, maybe so right now you could try to bait the Pugner. He's not supposed to be in front, but if he shows himself, he might bait himself nicely simply because he has a buyback to come back into the fight. So potentially you would bait IG to kind of jump out of position. But let's see, they're playing in their ward here.
That's the BKB. XXS, he's looking for the lead and breaks the Linkers, gets the Doom down onto Emo. Emo in trouble. The lasso as well, they've caught out Kaka. Emo surrounded. 2 hits dead, neither with buyback available. Ollie run over as well as Baboka picks up the triple kill. XXS just time and time again getting in with this setup, breaking the Lincolns with that purge, following it up with a Doom, and that's more than enough space for Asta to send their team into the pit and get this Aegis done for the team. And with this being the third rush, what's this? Is this the Aghanims or the Refresher Shard? It's going to be something extra. It's the Refresher Shard. XXS, give it to the man Doom. This guy has been making play after play.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we have a cheese or a refresher steal here with the courier. Oh, they see it. That's sad. I would love to see that. You find it.
I mean, they did the best job you can have with the courier. The courier's still alive, but he's already been hit the once, so he's not battle ready. They cannot afford to send him over the pit. The Asset will be able to claim everything here from Roche and now bump the game into a state where they are in an 8k lead.
Yeah, so to recap this last fight, IG were fighting in a full high ground ward of Esther on the top cliff, which there were 2 reasons they lost this fight hardcore. First of all, it's the vision of that fight, which now enables XXS to make this great blink. He gets to blink Inferno Blade the Ember. Because of the Aghanims, he has so much time to react. He Inferno Blade stuns him, then purges, gets the Doom off, and Ember is basically now taken out of the fight. The fight continues, and they now just get to take the third Roshan, which is huge for Esther right now. Not only did they win the fight, get Aegis cheese, they now have 2 Dooms and double BKB for the next fight.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, the game just gets harder and harder for IG. As they just, you know, it's so much pressure really on Fly to get the damage done, but he's been having trouble with the mobility of some of Asta's heroes. This Doom and Bat just blinking in on top of them. Fade always there as well, ready to try and trap him in with the Shard Snowball combo. He's constantly having to worry about where he places himself in the team fights.
Yeah, I think right now for IG, of course they're behind, so they kind of need to think about what do they actually need to do to perhaps win the next fight or hold on to the game. Drow Ranger right now is by far their strongest hero, so they need to enable this Drow to, you know, get to hit heroes in the fight. It's very important. So both this Ember and the Axe, they need to go in, and the best heroes for Esther right now to go on the Drow are probably the PL, and the Bat could potentially try to snatch him. So IG need to prevent that from happening, and basically Esther's goal, the only thing that can go wrong for them in a fight is if the Drow Ranger just has free reign, so their goal is to prevent the Drow from doing that.
And an extra bit of a hit to the Drow there, losing the Perseverance and Ultimate Orb of her Lincoln Sphere, as her courier did get sniped.
Is that a ninja gear on bat? I thought they smoked themselves. It was just ninja gear.
It is, yeah. He got the ninja gear.
Yeah, what a great item on this hero. My god.
It's going to make it even easier for Baboka to find those setups. You catch out heroes like this, Emo's got to be smart with his play. Cannot afford to be caught out pushing these lanes. And yeah, that's obviously long courier death at this stage again. That's 3 minutes that Fly's going to have to wait before he gets his Lincolns.
Yeah, so I think right now, as we can see, IG do not feel comfortable with fighting into Esther, which, you know, it's a good choice. Until they come knocking at your door, I don't think you want to end up forcing anything. So right now, what's the plan for Esther? They should look to play some lane wards out on the side so they can see this Ember leaving his base, and then look to kill him just like that.
On XXS, he's just executing this setup perfectly. I've sort of lost count of the times that he's been the man to catch out Emo's Ember. He's just ruining him.
Yeah, this Ags also indirectly is pretty good against Lincoln Sphere, actually. I have not seen this matchup being played out like that, but when you just blink Inferno Blade the guy, you have so much time to just, you know, pop the Lincolns with whatever spell you took to break the Lincolns. So it's just that simple.
Yeah, it's pretty much impossible for Emo to react to it, I guess, unless he has the vision of the Doom before he blinks in.
Yeah.
As now Asta up in towards the base. Obviously Emo doesn't really want to spend his buyback. See if Asta can do a good job of forcing it out. They've got the 20, they're hitting the high levels now. Level 26 on Tron. He's got that level 25 talent with the extra damage to the blast. So the siege is pretty solid from Asta. There's the jump, Kaka. Just managed to find the Hex, but no further follow-up. They're still being very careful how they step forward, IG. Without the Ember Spirit, they know it's a hard fight for them to try and take, as they just have to let Asta take the tier 3 tower. And almost certainly the Rax as well. They're going to go for the jump. JT, he's actually trying to come in on the back line. They go on the side of the fist to get Tron. Can they get anything more? Fly tries to turn towards a CCC. SCCC buffed up by the Lotus Orb. A buyback from both sides for that one. Emo buying back to make that initial play. Does mean that they get the Tron kill. Tron in turn buying back himself.
I really like that play from IG. Somehow the JT came around. I don't know if he was smoked, but he certainly caught some heroes on Dire with their pants down. Like this Pugna getting called, they end up trading their buybacks, so obviously it was well communicated. Ember bites back as Axis going in, he TPs, and now they actually, you know, they kind of, not only did they get to hold their base, but they got to trade buybacks, which in their case, being so far behind, is, I would consider that a pretty good win for them.
It definitely gives them this window that you'd imagine that they're going to be careful how they push in Asta. They've got to be very, very precautious about where they place Tron on these attempts at a siege now, especially after IG showcased the way that they can still get to the backlines and get on top of him. A lot of money needing to be spent still on some of the heroes of Asta. 6,500 gold on SCCC as he's almost certainly deciding what he wants to go for next. Ollie is queuing up the Hex. He's 3,100 towards it. So definitely close to making that dream a reality is the Ogre.
Yeah, we should be seeing some Shadow Blades, I think, soon on the Dire team, because I think with this lead that they have right now, the Radiant are going to have a hard time fighting, and initially, what do you want to do as an Ember? You want to run out on these lanes and split push it, and right now, one win condition they have is if they pick off Ember, the game is not over, but it's a really good opening that they have, as he has no buyback currently. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Shadow Blade on Bat or Doom in this game, and just see if, you know, they can help themselves or make it easier for themselves to find these pickups outside on the lanes.
14k lead for Asta. And that very important 6-minute timing to keep our eye on between the two heroes. Very nice here, one for Tron, getting that Spell Prism, 20% cooldown reduction on all those abilities, makes it
yeah, and items. I believe it works on items too, so no, not too shabby to get that item. It's good on him, it's good on Doom, but I assume that Doom doesn't have any slots left, so why not keep it on the Pugna, let him blast some buildings whenever you get there.
Kaka's got his Eon Disc finished, so well, at least enable him to guarantee getting out the Hex or any sort of catch that he's trying to use to give time for the rest of his team to find one of these core kills.
Yeah.
And they're starting to leave the base, IG.
Yeah, and as we talked about Esther, they did place this lane ward down bottom, the Tinker ward, which will, you know, catch people that are gonna run down bottom. I think the only place that IG feels safe right now, which is not their base, will be this high ground, which is what they're gonna play around. Sadly, they don't have that shrine up anymore, so there's no like buyback TP plays that they can do here to try and outnumber Esther. So they need to, if a fight happens around here, they need to do it properly in their own vision. It is super important for them right now.
And SCCC just got that little more tanky, full Scardy done. Baboka is leading in with the ninja gear. Seems aware that IG's starting to leave the base and look for some action. They don't have anyone on the high ground, only down there on the low, so would have caught vision at the Remnant coming in.
Yeah, I think that is one, other than the base, this high ground is one place you have to respect here if you're the Dire team. You know that they're here. It's very common to play like this right now, as it has been for a while. You know, you want to play around the high ground, hug one of your wards, and just hope that the enemy team runs into you. So let's see, they're still deciding to do it.
Oh, they are, they're heading in. The BKB's going to be popped already. Kaka focused, but there's the Eon just going to force away to save him. BKB used by Emo. They'll throw the Remnant out, just decide that he's got to get out of there as the BKB starts to wear off. SCCC focusing JT. JT's out of mana, and JT's now grabbed back as Baboka commits with the BKB lasso. JT hexed up and dead. The axe is gone for nearly 2 minutes. Zasta, they can now reassess, see what they want to push for now. Maybe if they can get that axe buyback out of him, it would be nice. It's a good window for them to play with and to push in onto.
Yeah, so obviously they end up getting this kill on Axe, which, you know, may help them to poke into this high ground a bit, but I think if they're smart enough, they deward the area as they did. They now ping Roche, which is the perfect play. And I think this way, you either get a free Roche or you force IG to leave their base, which is kind of, you know, one of your best things that can happen to you, that they leave their base and try to fight you out here. So as long as Dire is ready for this move and they don't get caught with their pants down again, then this should be a good fight for them.
I mean, IG, they are leaving the base, but they're not quite running towards Roche yet. Roche are half health. Can IG do something big? It would be without their axe. And even with the buyback, as you mentioned, without the shrine, very hard for them to get over here. They're starting to lead in. They're going to have to throw a Remnant in soon. Emo's got the haste. Is he going to be able to time it? He scouts it out with a slide of fist. Goes in with the Remnant. Roshan is low, but it's still alive. They don't quite kill him off. And now with the buybacks, they have to commit here, IG. As they bring the axe slowly over. But already, Ollie's in trouble. He'll be the focus first. Slide of fist used from Emo's trying to clear for the illusions of SCCC. But this PL is so tanky right now. Jumping. JT gets the call off onto the two of them. Kaka finds the follow stun. Another buyback from Ollie this time. And an aggressive Remnant in from Emo back out as well. Fly, he's got the damage. XXS won't fall. They get the Doom. The XXS is not messing around. He'll buy back. Roshan's still standing there. Very, very low. As to reset back up to the high ground. Buybacks being used by both teams here. As they're ready to contest this Roshan. SCCC moves back into the pit. Does he want to start trying to finish it off? As IG, they're ready for a steal opportunity. Scouting it out, the multi-shot pushing him lower and lower. Asta, they're going to look for the aggressive wraparound. They smoke up, they're immediately ready to make this aggressive play and catch IG off. Up march, but the Hex is there. They found Baboka. Snowball in for Fate, but it's very, very deep. Kaka's low, but he's able to get the 2-man stone. SCCC's on the killing spree. He kills on Kaka, turns for more. Emo pops the BKB. He's found Fate. Can he not get anything more out of this? As Fly and Kaka are buying back, so is Fade. Everyone's trying to make their way back over to this Roshan area. As Asta, they're chasing JT, but he was able to get away. They have pushed them out off this spot on the map. So Asta, they'll go back into Roshan. They're going to try and finish it off in time, but there's a courier. There's a courier watching and waiting there as Baboka's gone. I see another buyback. Pretty much all the buybacks are being used around this point, and Roshan's still alive.
There's one left. Esther should fight right now. Put the PL in front and play around this buyback. You know you have at least a small advantage with this buyback.
Just finish the Roche. It's going for it now, SCCC. It's going to go and finish it. Is anyone going to be there in time to make the jump? They're going to run for it. Can they do it? SCCC is going to be able to grab the AG Aegis. Now the jumping from Emo comes, but it's a little too late. Aegis, Cheese, Refresher Shard, Aghanims, it was all picked up by the PL. SCCC has it all, and now they can look to fight with this newfound power that they have. JT goes for the call, but he's been separated from the rest of the team. He's hexed, lasso, there's no escape for the little piggy as JT is dead.
Alright, so a little breather for the two teams here as they were fighting for like, what, 2 minutes with 10 million buybacks. Ags is picked up on the PL here, so he's gonna have the permanent rush from hero to hero and creep to creep. This fight was definitely wild, but so many buybacks expanded from Ice.
So many.
Everyone but the Ember bought back for them. So very costly, and they still lost Roshan to the Dire team.
And now they're ready to push in. Some good discipline from Asta. They played that area to their advantage. Not giving IG a chance to get in a look for that Roshan steal. Up to the high ground they go. What sort of hope do IG have without their axe? They do not have their frontline.
They need to have really good positioning here and hope that Esther jump too far, because they have no buybacks. Any of them dying will continue closing out the game.
And the rack's starting to fall. Fly and Emo trying their best to spam out the push. But SCCC is just so darn huge right now with the Abyssal and that Satanic. Another axe into stun. But he's being healed up by the backlines. Pulse the Satanic. He's got full health once more. They'll use the fortification. 35 seconds until they have JT back in the game. But they cannot hold this top racks. The melee racks are gone. Asta got what they came for there. In fact, Baboka, he goes in deep, tries for the aggressive play with the BKB lasso. Won't find anyone. And so it's only Ollie that was on top about, did not want to use the lasso to just kill off an ogre. And Emo,
oh hello,
he's going in deep. He's not seeing what he can poke out of this. He's found Baboka, but the heals are there. He doesn't get the kill. Now the bash from SCCC. Emo, he's got another remnant prepared. He's able to jump away, but Emo really playing with fire there.
Well, he wants to win. I don't blame him. He popped an A on this. He nearly killed the bat, which would have been a dieback. So you can also tell this guy has some balls. That's for sure. Not every player will go and do this play when you have no buyback jumping into 5 heroes in and out. So the Dire heroes right now. One thing I realized is that neither team has a Vlad's, and I would love for both of them to pick it up. First of all, it's good for Radiant. They're playing a Drow against Doom. If you get doomed, I don't think you're getting to run away, so just man up and hit them. Someone has to help this Drow with the Vlads. Same story for Dire. Help them against this Axe Call.
And the Drow Rapier. I mean, it's the only way.
Yeah.
He's got to get that Rapier out. He's got the money. Get over there. Sell some of this garbage. Get that Rapier. Sell one of these boring items. We want to see the big numbers come out.
Bring your donkey if you can't get there. Come on, bro.
Send it out.
There we go.
There it is.
Beautiful.
There goes the shitty wizard.
And it will not die, as nobody is there.
Yeah, we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We've had a few rapiers today, haven't we? Was it maybe just the one game earlier where there was a couple of rapiers in play, but
we've had some the days before too. So yeah, certainly rapier is being picked up more and more.
It's back in fashion.
It is.
And we'll see how much of a difference it will make. I mean, obviously, Ags and Rapier, you do imagine it's going to do a good job of cleaning for the illusions.
Yeah.
SCCC. The top off. Well, we see the illusions do fall pretty fast. Cat goes well, obviously, with that multi-target live though. Oh, SCCC's gone.
Hello, and bye-bye. Well, he will come back.
Can they do it again?
They probably need to cycle their spells again with some Axe Call, maybe a Lion Sun, and they realize, okay, maybe we, can't ruin their base right now. I think they just realized that this PL can still die very easily. Yeah. I mean, this Drow, he hits pretty hard, especially if he procs his ulti, because you are ignoring all that juicy armor from PL, as it's all from his agility.
Even with this 31k lead for Asta, it isn't over yet. Not by quite a long shot.
I would still like for Esther to play aggressive currently before these buybacks start cooling down for Radiant, because this is a huge window for them. They still have Aegis and a Refresher Shard, if I'm not mistaken, and Aegis of course just dropped, sorry about that. But buybacks are on cooldown. You have your own, so you can try to play aggressive. You can go in with, for example, right now, you can put in the partner, you can put in the PL, they can die, they can come back in. So if you kill one of the Radiant cores that don't have buyback and you trade one of yours that have, suddenly you can create a 4-5 scenario for yourself. but they're not interested in doing that.
I mean, they've got all the waves pushed in, but it definitely feels like Asta's being a little careful. I mean, the question is, what are they sort of waiting for? Is
Tier 5 items.
Safe item? I mean, that's always the dream. It's always the dream to see some of that tier 5 action, but there's still a fair bit of weight. I swallowed the Aghanims now, Drought, so an extra slot available for him. Kako's ready as well to start having a bit of a dream himself. He's got his axe queued up, 3k towards it.
Kind of thinking what can Dire get right now that really improves like their power spike. I think the Mr. Doom can end up getting a refresh orb himself later on instead of the shard, of course, but he's still a bit away from that. Other than that, I don't know if there's any crucial items. Doom, of course, he ate his Ags. Bat is close to 25. He also has some great items for himself with the Ninja Gear and the Spell Prism. Any of them close to 30? I guess Pugna's 28. PL should be getting closer to 30 as well here. Yeah, they have some 28s in the game. But I guess they're just gonna, they're gonna play the map as they're owning all of it, so the lead will keep on increasing for them. And then perhaps they just wait for another Roshan.
Oh, Emo. Oh. He's got to be careful. Every time he comes outside the base.
Blade Mail Tusk.
Why?
So perhaps the new strategy for Dire is, guys, everyone go in when Drow uses multi-shot and pop your Blade Mail, and then pick up the
I guess that's true.
I hope they don't do it.
He doesn't have a BKB on the Drow, so, Blade Mail, it's a bit of a meta item, but maybe it's going to sort of put Fly off from just blindly multi-shotting.
Yeah, well, it's kind of weird on Tusk, because I think his role is not to go in first and die in Suicide, but to perhaps save. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe it's a genius play and Drow ends up, killing himself on the Blade Mail, and then he'll be the hero. Interesting smoke. Oh, they know it's smoked.
Oh, they're gonna see. Oh, Ollie. It's fine. I mean, even Asta themselves are a little scared on how they go for this, but JT's able to get himself an outpost back before the 60-minute mark. In fact, they're going to be able to get out and take both.
They're going to secure at least one, I guess, for the 60-minute mark, unless they take this back and then travel down bottom, which I think Esser should even consider doing it. If they have some travels, you just get down bot. You don't really want to give this Radiant team anything. They also have vision, so I mean they see that they're going bot right now, so they probably consider that they're too late and they'll just let it be as they don't want to throw. 2 smokes being picked up here by Dire, some 60-minute runes spawning, so we'll see. There's a new Roshan coming up very soon, 2 power runes, Arcane down bottom, very great for many heroes. Doom, Bat, PL, Pugna.
And everyone's buyback's pretty much back there. Just Ollie needs to get the last 200 gold. And then we can certainly expect to see crazy things kick off once again when Asta do come in for that high ground siege. You know that IG is going to be able to bring them quite a fight.
Well, they are smoking down bot right now. Of course, they won't find anything. Roshan is back up soon, so that should be the next objective. I hope they know that it's up in about 20 seconds, I believe. Also, what Radiant should do if they want a ward outside the base, use that little donkey up top, place a ward on it, and let the courier ward for you, not a hero.
And that'd be smart.
That would be very smart.
Look at the butterfly. Who's that going towards? Okay. We're still buying butterfly against rapier. Is that? I'm sure and you just find it anywhere.
I mean, it's really illusions. I was treated as a player. I feel like what would be good for him is like an AC. He needs a different type of outsource against the John. Because John will just be good.
I'll tell you that. They got in, they killed Doom, they do nothing, Doom pull back.
Yeah, that's right. Sadly, they haven't already later on. If it was Doom, that's a tough position, maybe he's going to use the matter from somebody on the behind that you can make a mistake.
Double damage.
It's an illusion! It's a trap! Kaka, he's in trouble, he's sucked down and he's sucked out, finally falls! They're gonna lose the draw as well! Fly is dead! The Defiant Rapier hits the deck! As JT is out of mana, surrounded by SCC! Triple buybacks, this is gonna be a quad buyback! But they are now down a Rapier. That Rapier in the hands of, I believe, SCC himself. As he's claimed that, and he'll finish off the Roche.
So they lost 4 heroes, 4 buybacks, and a Rapier.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, so
that's gonna feel pretty bad.
Yep, the fight is kind of over as soon as this happens. They jump a PL illusion with Axe Ember, and now the Axe is out of mana. His fight is over. He's a walking tank.
I mean, he did exactly what they said they couldn't do.
Yep.
They said you can't go on the same target with this Axe and the Ember unless you're sure that it's something big. And it wasn't anything at all. There was a couple of illusions in the river.
Yeah, not the greatest jump by them. Of course, they're far down, so, you know, they need to take some risks. Sadly, not the right one. They have a jump here.
He's going to get the call. At the X. But obviously, damage, they kind of severely lack. Having that Rapier now gone from Fly's inventory. Emo, obviously the only one still with a buyback available. The money isn't even there for Fly to really consider buying a second Rapier, I don't think. I think he's still rather short. Well, he's got 4,900, okay. It's not that far away, actually, from being able to buy another Rapier.
Yeah, honestly.
He could do it.
He should do it. He's got to do it. They want to win.
He's got it.
Come on, look how far you're behind.
I mean,
you
54k behind.
You bought the first one, you buy the second one. 73%.
Oh, he bought a BKB.
Well,
that was...
he's got to make it work somehow.
Yeah. Oh, Kaka. Can he slide his way to safety? Just goes to the high ground, but already the fight is continuing inside the base. JT goes to the core, it's only on illusions. SCC diving in with the shards. Actually broke him off. Fade stops him from being able to get in for more. But Kaka is gone, dead and out for 2 minutes. Asta will clean up the middle lane. And now they can just prepare themselves to go down for more. Can they? Because Emo has been a little sneaky. It's pushing in this bottom lane down bottom.
Yeah, they should. They don't even have to go back right now. I mean, if they have travels, you know, you go back, you throw a spell, you come back. But as Bad Rider, he will smoke himself. Lasso is back up. Again, it's a 4 and 5 for sure now, as this Lion has no buyback. You also know that Drow has no buyback. Basically, the only one that has one is Ember.
Whoa! Hello. They're in. They've got the lasso onto Fly. The Drow needs help. He's not going to get it. He's doomed. He's forced back. It's not enough to save him. The Drow is gone. Axe as well will fall. They're down to the last 2. Emo's got to do something amazing, but he's not going to get the chance. So it's GG. The game is over. Asta will take game 2 and will push this series to a decisive game 3. I couldn't get it together here in the second game, and Asta, they stepped up their play from game 1.
Yeah, I mean, they were actually in a good position on IG.